Yeah, we can do that, and then we'll just talk about our mission fucking goals here. What are we doing? And then we'll just say, hey, like,
well, what I can't.
We'll just talk. You know, just be like the little introduction to fucking. Yeah.
See.
What is it? All right.
I think that'll just fucking happen. What are you having? A fucking beer?
I'm drinking a fucking beer, dude.
Nice. I'm gonna smoke a cigarette.
My skin's on fire. I'm hot.
How the fuck did you get poison ivy?
Dude, I don't know. I'm just a trash man. So, like, that shit happens. Like, I get shit fucking slopped all over me all the time.
Yeah, they didn't even come and pick up my fucking trash today. I don't know why.
Maybe the protesting or some shit?
Well, does that slow anything up? I don't fucking know.
Well, I'm not in a major fucking city. So, like, we actually did have a protest in Collingdale, but it was, like, last Saturday. And I think it only went, like, a couple blocks. And everything was, like, peaceful. So, like, there's no issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if you knew I wasn't smoking, but I'm back to fucking cigarettes.
You gotta get with like the modern day fucking hipsters, bro, and like you have that cool fucking.
I'm not that cool.
Z-cigarettes or whatever the fuck they are, e-cigarettes.
The vapes.
The vape, yeah, dude, make like crazy fucking vape videos. I can see that, dude.
I'll tell you the truth too. I actually thought about fucking. I was sitting here today and I was like, should I vape? Maybe I should start vaping, but it's worse.
Dude, I don't know. I mean, I did hear that initially, but then I think it might have been on a Joe Rogan podcast. The guy was talking about there was chemicals that they were using in some of these things, but if it's like just straight tobacco, whatever the case may be, then it wasn't as bad as that show or that movie. What the hell was it? Thank You for Not Smoking. You ever watch that?
A long time ago. I forget fucking what it was about.
Basically, like the guy worked for the tobacco industries, you know what I mean? And he was, just pushing for tobacco, and, people were like, well, you're going to die from cancer. And he'd be like, well, you could die from crossing the street.
Yeah.
So why not live and just live life?
Dude, every time I'm sitting here, they have those commercials that come on, and they just spit all the fucking things that's going to happen to you for smoking. And it's fucking, I wish they were out when I was 13 years old, because now it's too fucking late for me. But
what's with the headphones?
Well, I'm fucking I mean, well, first off, it probably works out better because, I don't know, I just don't feel like fucking.
Oh, so she can't hear me.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But I don't know if you can see this guy, but I don't even know if it's going through that or not. Does that sound like closer?
That looks like something. Are you guys going to use that later? You guys got some sex toys going on?
Yeah. I don't incorporate toys. Do you incorporate toys? Are you a toys guy?
I feel like, are you recording this?
Yeah.
Oh, you are? All right, good. I feel like this is something we should talk about.
It definitely is.
To be honest with you, dude, I've never used a fucking sex toy in my life.
I don't know if I'm fucking scared of them or something, but
I'm intimidated. Like, I'm definitely intimidated. Like, if a girl whips out this fucking dildo or whatever, like, oh, let's use this. I'm going to really feel a certain type of way about that shit. And dude, I'm going to be honest with you, dude. It's funny that we mentioned this topic. I had this fucking crazy dream the other night, right? So it's actually a chick that I follow on Instagram. Won't say any names. But I flipped her over on her fucking stomach, and like, I don't know, I was gonna like start eating ass.
Wait, I forgot this was a dream. For a second, I'm like, wait, some chick you followed on Instagram.
No, this is absolutely a dream, right? So I've never eaten ass in my life.
You're missing out.
Yeah, I don't know. That's another topic we can talk about. But anyway, so like I flip her over on her stomach, and like I'm about to fucking go in, right? And I start going to town. And like she like, I don't know if it happened prior to that, because like I don't remember her actually farting or like, but like it was like a sharp, like, so like I like licked it. This is a dream. This is a dream. Yeah, this is a dream. Like I woke up and I was like, holy fuck, that was fucking intense. So like I ate that shit, like, but like I was like, I stopped, and like she knew what was happening. So like I was in my.
This is very intense.
It's very, very, very fucking vivid, dude. Like this is what I mean. Like, so like I got him, and it was my same apartment I'm in right now. Everything was the same. So I got up. I was like, and I just stopped, and I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. So like I went in the fucking bathroom, and I was like fucking spitting up, fucking Listerine, and like I went back in the bedroom like thinking maybe, you know, I don't know. I mean, I guess she probably, because she fucking put back all her clothes back on. And she was like, we're done. And I was like, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that shit?
Let's rephrase. This is a nightmare.
Well, yeah,
this is not a dream.
And this may have scarred me now from ever attempting to do any ass eating in the future.
Well, you're gonna fucking regret that, because I don't know, when I was younger, I don't know, it depends on who you're messing with. You definitely.
When you were younger, you were getting laid when you were like 12.
I wasn't eating ass though.
Yeah, that's pretty advanced for a 12-year-old.
Yeah, I was just like dry humping.
Which fucking humping anything.
Well,
but like the rest of us that weren't even getting laid, we were like fucking dead.
Yeah, but dude, that was the worst fucking. I still actually think to this day that was the worst fucking thing that ever happened to me, because I got it excessively at a young age, and then there was like a 3 or 4 year gap where it didn't happen again.
So when everybody else is getting laid, you were like, I remember those days.
The first time that I actually had sex, the first, like, I don't know if, I don't want to be fucking weird, but I won't say the person's name, but you know who I'm talking about. And right. When I think back of how fucking dumb it was, we used to count. Like, it was like, we did it 17 times, 18 times. Not in a day. I mean, like, progressively.
Right.
But, dude, it wasn't until, like, the 40th time that I actually fucking ejaculate. Like, it used to just be like, it was like excitement. It was like, like you just got excited, and that was it. Boom. Right. You know what I mean? Like, if you just got like, I don't know if that's what, and so there was like this fucking gap. And when I look back, I think like that made me like excessively horny for the rest of my life, because there was like, you were doing it every night, and then you're 13, 14 years old, and you don't do it again until you're 16, 17. You know what I mean? Like, I went back, like, I felt like an old man. I went back into, like, the foreplay world, and I'm looking at some 15-year-old, like, this is boring. This is boring. Let's get right to it.
Yeah. Well, dude, how old were you when it actually, like, the first time?
I was 11 years old the very first time, like 11, almost 12. Because I hung out with people that were, like we said the other day,
a little bit older, yeah.
A little bit older, not fucking excessively older, but so
right.
I'm 11 turning 12, and these people.
What was she? 13?
Well, she was like, you know how it is when you're younger. It's like, I'm 11, and like, I'm like, if somebody's a grade ahead of you, there could be a time where they're fucking 2 years older than you. Whatever, it's irrelevant. But 13 is maybe the time you start fucking playing around. But I'm hanging out with 13-year-olds, and I'm 11 turning 12. And so it was like, this is gross. But I actually think that fucking destroyed me sexually for the rest of my life. Seriously.
Really?
Destroyed was a big word. I mean, it definitely had a major impact on how I viewed fucking sex and my sex drive, let's say. Does that make sense? Right.
But no, absolutely.
But going back to let's segue back to dildos. But when you were saying like fucking toys and shit, what's so funny is I'll never forget me and my ex. One thing I'll never forget is she like moved out of her. She got like, you know when you're dating somebody and like they have that moment where they get the last of their shit from their ex-boyfriend's house or something. Yeah. And so I went in the fucking bathroom, and she had like 2 big bags that she just kind of had in the bathroom for a while. Right. And I didn't look through it or nothing, but I look over, and there's this fucking huge dildo in there. And somehow it turned into a fight. I mean, I wasn't always fucking mature, so I probably just ran in the room and was like, what the fuck is this? You know?
It was like the King Kong dog and everything.
But the best part about it was my biggest fear had been fucking reached, because like you said, like they're intimidating, you know?
Right.
And I went in, and somewhere in the fight, and I don't know if she was just super fucking manipulative and just knew by saying this it would crush me. But I was like, at one point we're fighting, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? You got this. You got your fucking, like, I think her excuse was like, I had to get everything out of my, and she literally said, that's not mine. And I broke it down, like, what do you mean it's not yours? And she's like, I didn't even want it. And I'm like, well, what is it? And she goes, that's the one that, like, she literally described that was the one that her and her boyfriend would, it wasn't her personal one. It was like the one that they used together. And so then I go, oh, well, you got this fucking huge dildo in my house. And she kept acting like, what was I talking about? And then I'm like, you got a huge dildo in the bathroom. And she goes, that's not a fucking huge dildo. And I think my heart fucking sank into my asshole right at that moment.
It's like Crocodile Dundee when he flips out the knife, and then she flips out, that's a knife.
Yeah. She's like, this is my personal one. But so I don't know. I don't fucking play. I don't know. Maybe a little fucking vibrator or something, but like a little thing. But I've never been like let's grab a fucking 10-foot long dildo and bring it into the relationship.
I mean, dude, you're clearly starting out at 11, bro. You're much more advanced than I am. I mean, dude, I didn't even get laid for the first time until I was 18.
Yeah, but see, you've always been good with that stuff. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, that's what I mean about, like, me having an issue. You get me? Like, I wish, like, I think I thought of sex as like a totally different fucking thing that other people do.
For me, it was like, you know, I was like, like I listen to all your boys and shit. Like, oh man, I just bang X and X in the, you know, in the back alley at 65th dicks. You know, and
we used to go in cubby holes. We used to go in like
right. So it was like I don't know, man. Like, and like some of the girls they were like talking about, I'm like, I don't know, man. I feel like I don't want to go that route. So like I was like, you know, listening to Boys to Men and shit, like, oh man, love you. Like, and I'm like fucking crying, like I'm like, oh, I want to do special. You know what I mean? Like I want my first to be like my love. You know what I'm saying?
See, I had that ripped right out of me at 11 years old.
Yeah, 11. Yeah. Yeah. So like for me, it was different. You know what I mean? And then like the first time I was like, it like shattered my world. And then, but it was somebody that, you know, I you know, really cared about, this, that, and the other. So, but even the weird thing about that was it was more of like a friends with benefits type relationship. So like it wasn't like a consistent basis, and it was like, you know, she had all the power. Like the pussy always had the power, so she was like, you know what I mean? So like it was like there was like certain times where I got lucky, this, that, and the other, and it was weird because from that, you know, I was like I was engulfed in that whole relationship for so many years, and then after that, dude, it was like, you know, getting drunk at the bar and sleeping with some chick, and then it was just like all these.
But did you do that? Did you do that a lot? Because I didn't think you did do that a lot. Like at your own choice. I don't mean like you couldn't.
No. I think because I put that pussy on a pedestal from that fucking very first fucking, you know, from that, and then it was all like it was just so fucked up because, you know, we weren't in like a real relationship. So after that, it was like, you know, for years of going this, that, and the other, going with just weird. But then after that, you know, you turn 21, you're going out to the bars, and then all of a sudden, like, I'm just sleeping with like random chicks. Like, so I never really had that like relationship where, you know, it was like getting boring after a while. And then she was like, well, hey, since, you know, we've done it for 6 months now, let's whip out my friend over here or anything like that. So it was like it's like a really weird sexual experience for me. Not like even at my age, not having a whole lot of sexual experiences in like a relationship setting. You know what I'm saying? So like I've never been in a position to be like, it would be weird if I, you know, brought some chick home and like brought out some like Benoit balls or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but I feel like there's guys out there where that's how they do it. They're like, select your poison, choose. Choose from the box.
Hit a button on there's a hidden fucking compartment in their bedroom.
Yeah.
Fucking slides out. Yeah, dude, that's I don't know, man. That's just not the way it worked out for me, bro.
Nah.
So like that's what, like even like eating ass. Like I'm like I was having this conversation with like a chick at a bar, and it was like me and a couple other people, and she was like, "Oh, eating ass is where it's at." And I was like,
yeah, of course she is. Says the wolf to the sheep.
Exactly. Like I was like, well, and I forget. I was just having this. There was a girl. I forget, or maybe I don't even know where this comes from. I don't remember where. I remember hearing this conversation, but it was about chicks sticking it up the dude's ass.
Yeah, I don't play that. I call that like party's over. That's party's over.
I know. Yeah, like that's exit zone only for me.
Yeah.
Like, but I know dudes that like are like all into it, and you know, there's chicks are like don't obviously attract.
I love when you find that out through it. Like in other words, look, let's face it, we all have fucking shit that we like or whatever, and nobody wants to be part of a little gossip fucking group of chicks or something. But I never am amazed by it, nor do I think fucking anything less of a person when I find something out. But I love when like someone you knew for 5 years never said that shit to you, and you're sitting there and you got like 5 girls like talking about like how that's all that dude ever asked for. And you're like, this guy's fucking maybe got an interesting side to him.
Well, I gotta be honest with you. So like at an early age when I saw like Real Sex on HBO.
So you're one of them guys.
Yeah, like I was learning from there because, like, you know, my dad.
The best show ever. The fucking best show ever.
I was raised by a fucking woman. You know what I mean? My dad was like at the bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I remember my dad telling me a joke the one time. Like I had like a wart on like my finger, and like I was all like, oh, I gotta get this, and my dad's like, better it's not on your pecker, and like I'm like 7, and I'm like. I didn't even understand what he was talking about. Like, I'm like, what? What's that mean? And like, he's like, never mind. But like, so like, I'm like watching like Real Sex, and I see these dudes that are in like relationships, and they're getting pounded with like strap-ons. Like,
wait,
Tommy, by girls.
Yeah, but please tell me that this isn't your thing. Am I finding this out right now?
Oh yeah. Like, cause so like at a young age. No. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying that's no. I'm saying that's my thing as far as like that's how like I saw that shit and I was like, dude, that's weird. You know what I mean? Like at a young age, like I'm like, that's not how this works, right? Like that's not how it's supposed to work. I mean, it's like grown men, like and these chicks having like bent over like chairs and like pounding them. Now. So like I always thought like that was like gay guys did that. You know what I mean? And that's like
well, I still do think that that's what that is. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, but like
I don't care. I don't give a shit.
But, exactly. Like that's your thing. Yeah. Like that's your thing. I you know. So like I'm not like here to, you know, whatever. But like that's how I always associated that with. You know what I'm saying? So like when like a chick would be like, oh yeah, you stick a finger up, and I'm like, no. Like, I was like, no, that's not how that works. Like,
dude, you got me rethinking my life. Like, what if at 11 I was introduced to that right away and didn't know anything?
Yeah, exactly. Like you were like, that's all I ever know. And then you like wanted every girl to do that. That would have been awesome.
Yeah. Like the girl's like, well, you want to do it? And I'm like, I don't have it with me.
This is the only way I know how. Like
I got a shovel in the closet.
Yeah, right. But like the funny thing is, like, so listening to Howard Stern one time, and you know Ronnie, the limo driver. I don't know if you listen to him, but he like tests out all these sex tools, right? So he's like, yeah, you know, I had this girl, like, and she's pounding me this and so the argument was. And I think Howard was like, "Well, dude, that's kind of gay. Like, if you're taking it, you know, like you're a straight guy."
Well, I have this argument all the time with people.
Yeah, so like, if a girl, like, he's like, no, you know, I'm like banging this girl, you know, she's hot, like we're into it.
Yeah.
So like, we just, you know, we tested it out, and I'm like, all right, sure, go with it. And Howard was kind of like, well, dude, that's a little bit, you know, that's a little gay.
Well, I think Howard's choice carries through time with me. Like,
I mean, and again, like, I was like, yeah, I feel like that might be. Now, the best part was, they were trying to get him to sleep with a Justin Bieber blow-up doll. They're like, And he's like, no, that would be gay. And they're like, it's just a blow-up doll.
Another thing I don't understand, but
What, Justin Bieber?
no, I mean, I understand that. But I'd rather do him than a blow-up doll, period.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, again, I'm not knocking anybody for their sexual preferences or anything like that. To each their own. I'm just saying the psychology of like how my mind works and like the things that I grew up seeing and like how that, you know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of weird, but it's funny, dude. Like that shit's crazy.
Yeah, I've never, dude. There was one time I was in New York. I keep looking over my shoulder. It don't fucking matter at this point.
Yeah,
but dude, funny story. I went to fucking New York.
Yeah.
And I ended up. I mean, it was a good night. It was a good night, whatever. And I had this fucking chink who kept trying, like she just kept trying to do that, right? And normally, I'm like, fucking no, absolutely not. But she thought she was doing it, but she wasn't. She was hitting like my taint with her fingernail. Like, what? I don't.
Oh, she was trying to finger bang you.
Yeah. And so
I was like, what's going on here?
And so it was too good of a night for me to like, I didn't want to, like, in other words, like she was doing failed attempts at it. So I just didn't intervene, dude. But then the whole way home, like, you know how when you're drunk and you fucking barely remember shit, and then like I woke up, she was just an Irish girl. She had like fucking 20 people living in the house. I'm like walking over people, doing the walk of shame. And the whole ride home, I started going like, oh man, why the fuck's my fucking ass burning? Like in between, like not my ass, but like my taint was like burning. And it turned out like I had a fucking huge gash from her fingernail constantly fucking hitting me in the taint. Did I freak you out a little bit with that?
I mean, wouldn't there be some point when you were like, all right. Like you just kept letting her go at it?
I told her to stop 1,000 times. And then, yeah. And then
is this a Me Too movement, like moment?
Yeah, I was like, you know,
reverse.
Hey man,
it's he too.
If you go to Queens, New York, and you find this girl, she's an Irish girl, she's a brunette, and she definitely violated me.
Yeah. Clearly, this wasn't any time recently.
You couldn't. Listen, I couldn't be hashtag Me Too. It would be impossible.
No, it's he too. Hashtag he too. Yeah.
Hashtag Me Too sounds like a threesome.
I've actually, dude, that's crazy. Like I never even had that.
Never had that either.
Yeah.
Want that. If anybody's actually listening, they're like, these guys are talking about sex and they're scared of sex toys. They've never had a threesome. There you go.
Yeah. Hey, is she gonna join us? Dude, you know what? You called me. You called me earlier, or you FaceTimed me earlier, and you're like, "Oh, here goes my girlfriend." Blah blah blah. I feel like that is grounds for her to like fucking straight up slap the shit out of you.
Well,
she wasn't prepared. Yeah. Her hair's not done.
I got smacked like 15 times, and she said my hair's not done, and whatever else. I said, well, yeah, my answer was, do you want to fuck Tommy? Well, then relax. Are you trying to bang him? No, I hope not.
Hey, well, dude,
you guys have
this is a woman thing. Like the last chick I was seeing, she was here one morning, and Paul called me. He wanted to borrow a suit jacket, so he's like blowing me up, and like we're like waking up, and so he calls and he's like, "Oh, I'm like 5 minutes away." We're still laying in bed, and she's like, "Well, who's that?" And I said, "Oh, it's my buddy Paul. Like he's gonna be here any minute, like to borrow a suit jacket." Dude, she jumped out of bed like a ninja, bro, and was like, "I'm not fucking ready for this." Like, and I was like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean you're not ready for what? Like, and she's like, my hair's not done, makeup. And I'm like,
that's how I act. That's how I act when somebody tries to put a finger in my ass.
yeah, I'm not ready for this. Like, meanwhile, I'm like, what's the fucking big deal? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know. I guess from her perspective, I have no fucking idea. I don't get it. But I'm like, you're not trying to fuck Paul. You know what I mean? You're just he's here for a fucking suit jacket. Like, he don't give a fuck what you look like.
No, but honestly, I understand it if you're single. So, like, there's things like that I take offense to. Not if I was 22, I would or something. But, like, in other words, like, I'm one of the people where I'm like, we're going to the fucking store. Why do you got to, like, get all dolled the fuck up? Like, I don't care what people think of me because I got you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Now, if you're going to fucking be on TV or something, I get it. Like, I'm not going to fucking, whatever. But at the same time, you're just meeting my friend. Relax.
Dude, I don't know. I think there's just a whole completely different fucking outlook between men and
women. Well, how old are you now?
I turned 40 tomorrow, dude.
Tomorrow? Happy birthday.
Yeah, this fucking coronavirus, bro.
Dude, what are you gonna do?
Well, so it was last Saturday, right? My mom, which she spilled the beans unintentionally, I don't think. So last weekend, she's like, oh, my cousin's having a barbecue, blah, blah, blah. She's like, why don't you come over to the barbecue? I'm like, all right. It's not like I can fucking do anything else, you know what I mean? So she's like, all right, well, do you want anything special for the barbecue? And I'm like, no. No.
Hot dog?
So meanwhile, I'm thinking in my head, like, all right, she's probably doing this for my birthday. And as it turned out, like, it was. Like, so we had some family over at my cousin's house, my cousin, her boyfriend, my cousin, her husband, my aunt, uncle, my other aunt, a couple just random people that were, immediate family. But they're like, we were gonna rent this place and do this and have this, because she threw a surprise party for me for my 30th at Barnaby's. But with everything that's going on, it's not really like they called all these different places and nobody was doing anything. Like,
yeah.
And it just so happened that last weekend around here was the first weekend that like it's like a dry run for like they're opening up, so like they have all the outside areas where you can go.
That's what I'm doing right now. It's fucking stupid.
So it's not like full bore, you know what I mean? But it's like so which and the crazy part is like 2 years ago, my friend Stephanie, she had a surprise party for me, immediate. And dude, I didn't even put two and two together at all. Like I had to go somewhere for for something immediate, and like I was on my way home, and Denab calls me. He's like, "Dude, what's going on?" I'm like, "Not much, man. I'm just on my way home." He goes, "Dude, listen, I'm on my way to media. Or you know what? I was actually meeting Stephanie, my friend Stephanie, for dinner." And he goes, "Yo, this girl that I told you that I hooked up with, like, I'm going to meet her for a drink, but like she's going to be like another hour." He's like, "So why don't you just meet me up in media?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm actually on my way there anyway." So we wound up going, and then it turned out like Steph had a bunch of people come to this one restaurant, and that was for was that last year? Yeah, that was last year. That was for the 39. And we talked about, at that point, like we talked about maybe doing a cruise or going somewhere for the 40th. Like, so she started like a Facebook group to like try and get people, like to give people at least a year advance, people, kids, this, that, and the other, save up a little bit of money. But that shit never took off. And now, I mean, even if it was, like, we'd all be getting refunds and shit now anyway.
But I can't help but keep laughing. I'm picturing you standing outside on your fucking lawn with, like, balloons and, like, a 40 and just people driving by and giving you the old, "We're having the quarantine birthday party." Yeah. Dude, as far as I'm concerned, if that's the kind of fucking party I'm going to have for anything, if I graduated, whatever, just fucking, I'm not standing out on my lawn and waving at fucking cars.
It sucks, man. This whole situation sucks.
Have you like, see, you've been working the whole entire time, haven't you?
Yes. Yeah. So I've been working the whole time, other than the part-time job.
Do they give you hazard pay or anything?
No, we didn't get anything. I mean, and here's the thing, like,
you don't want anything.
I mean, I'm grateful that I'm working. I know a lot of people that lost their job, so I really can't complain. I mean, I'm lucky. And then there's other people that I know that are making more money now, staying home, and I'm like, fuck, man, why couldn't I got that deal?
See, I'm not making more money, but the thing I think is fucking weird is for people in my situation, but then for people like you, what sucks is nothing's changed, right? Like, except for your life fucking has gone into this quarantine. Like, for me, I can't go to fucking work. The plus side of that is I'm not getting fucking bad money to just sit at home, but it's still not what I would have made. But fuck it, if I can sit home, that's fine. But right. I think it's funny, though, that everybody, it's all about, like, what have you done with your quarantine? What have you done? And for people like you, it fucking blows because it's like your life stayed the same except for you can't, like for me, you get to like look internally at things. You have a lot of time. You can catch up on things. But for you, it's like life as usual. They just took all the fun shit away from it.
I mean, with there were some things that changed. Like it was pretty much, we went to work, we got our job done, and then we rolled. So we were getting done earlier than usual. So it's like shortened days, you know what I mean? So that part was cool, and at least it gave me something to do because, dude, if I was actually on vacation because one of the guys I work with came down, and you know, we have 10 guys on our shop, so like one dude gets it, we were all like, what the fuck? Like we were.
Wait, he got the COVID.
Yeah, he got sick, and he was not doing good. I mean, he was in the hospital, and like I talked to him on the phone, like in the hospital, and like there were moments where he was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
That's horrible.
So it was scary shit. I mean, he's healthy, but he's
dude in all kinds of
late 50s.
See, I won't lie to you, dude. Like I'm starting to think now, like what I don't like about, you know, not to get into the whole thing, but like the protest and shit is like, so I'm going back to work. Like I went back to work last week. So I stayed in my fucking house for 3 months for no reason. I like it to a certain extent.
Right.
Because now they're just going to open back up. I mean, they don't have a fucking choice at this point. They got to.
Right.
But the thing is now I've got to come in contact with, like now my job is to fucking serve people and be in contact with them. And as much as I never was scared of the COVID thing at all, but it's a real thing and it fucking exists. And the whole thing is, it seems like you either don't get it or you get it and nothing's wrong, or you get it and it's like the most horrifying fucking thing possible. There's some actor right now. I just read a thing. I don't know who the guy is. He's like a Broadway actor.
Broadway guy.
The whole thing that fucked with me is he looks like he's going to pull through, but he had his fucking leg amputated. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, what the, like, you know what I mean? Like, the different effect it has on all these different fucking people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that was crazy. I don't know. And he was relatively young. Like, I think he might be like 39, 40 maybe.
Yeah, and so, especially because I've been fucking smoking again, which is horrible.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't smoke for fucking 5 years. I've been healthy, whatever. Next thing you know, I'm fucking smoking cigarettes. If this shit comes around my way, I'm going to be one of those fucking, I'm going to be on a fucking respirator and shit. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you know, it's crazy the way, because I had someone in my family that came down with it as well. And they didn't even know, like, they didn't even really, they self-quarantined at home, and they're older. I mean, they maybe early 60s.
Yeah.
And they really didn't, you know, it was just like, oh, you have the pneumonia, and then they tested positive. But like it really wasn't even an issue.
Yeah, my girlfriend's grandmom got it, and her grandmom's like, I believe, if she's not 80, she's close to 80 or something like that. She's in her late 70s, and fucking, she talked to her every day. She never even like was sick.
Yeah,
and she you know, I mean, it's now been like a month and she's fine. The thing that was fucked up though was they didn't test her or something. Like, so she talked to her every day, and then I said, does she not have it anymore? And it was like day 14, but the nursing home she was at didn't properly like test her again, if that makes sense. Yeah. So they made her stay quarantined for another full cycle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But she was fine. So you think in your head, like, 70-year-old people get it, asymptomatic, no problem. And then some young guy gets it and his fucking legs getting amputated. You know what I mean? Which I don't even understand the correlation of it.
Well, dude, it was always changing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the CDC was like, well, or the World Health Organization, I don't remember exactly who came out, and they were like, well, it's not spreadable from human to human, this, that, and the other. And then all of a sudden, you know, you don't need masks. You don't, you know, you're good. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like, it'd be like a day or two later, and then they'd be like, well, you know, maybe it's going to last on your doorknob for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's going to last on your girlfriend's dildo for 3 days.
Yeah, like, make sure you rub that down really well. You know, We're not exactly sure. We haven't tested all the sex toys out there, so we're not exactly sure how that's going to pan out. But just be careful.
You might have missed your ass-eating opportunities.
Yeah. So, just the way that whole situation played out. And, like, the craziest thing is, like, all these people, like, now, I have a really weird group of friends in that, you know, I'm involved in theater. So, like, I have a lot of liberal friends and then a lot of, you know, just regular people that we grew up with. Some of them are liberal, but I also have a lot of conservative friends as well.
Yeah.
And, dude, just the different perspectives in both of those worlds, I was just like, I'm listening to the news, and I don't know what the fuck's going on. And then you got your liberals over here that are like, it's fucking Trump.
Everybody's sending you some weird fucking email or
meme, like,
yeah, but that says something completely different than you would even fucking believe.
Yeah, and then the conservatives are like, this is a conspiracy against Trump, and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, I don't even know where to begin, bro. Like, I don't know what. Like, I just got blinders on. Like, I was like, kind of like just freaking the fuck out.
The first 2 weeks, I was like, oh shit, dude, this is fucking insane. You know what I mean? And what I think is so weird is how quickly everyone adapted to the fucking situation. Like, in other words, the first 2 weeks, it was like, oh my God. And then next thing you know, it was like, you're sitting in your fucking house. Like, the new world is fucking, you know, PSAs on wash your fucking hands. And you're looking to see if Fauci says you can fucking go to work and shit. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. Like, Fauci was just on TV every day. Like, this is what you should do. This is what you can't do. And meanwhile, I'm sitting here like what's going on here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, I loaded up on ammunition. Like, because I'm like, dude.
Oh, I thought it was,
people are fighting over toilet paper.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Well, and I also have a little fucking thing to add to the toilet paper thing. The bottom line is, if you're about to lose all your money and you're about to be in an apocalyptic situation, honestly, the last thing I care about is toilet paper. I got fucking hands. I got other things I can fucking
socks. I got plenty of socks. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever the case may be.
I don't know. Get a bidet at that point.
Exactly. But dude, the crazy thing is like, I'm watching people just act crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm loading up on some ammo. Well,
that's what you really need. I don't want to get into it, but I didn't have that opportunity. But that's what you fucking need. And what I learned after this is, don't get toilet paper. Fucking don't get hand sanitizer. Go get a fucking shotgun and fucking shells.
Well, dude, it was funny because I'm listening to Rogan one day, and he's like, dude, I think it's funny. He's like, because all my liberal friends, because he's pretty liberal. But he's like, you know, when it comes to Second Amendment, he's like, I'm all for it. So he's like, it's funny how now all my liberal friends are like, so how do I get a gun? And he's like, dude, think about it. If shit was to really hit the fan, right? And like, we were like bunkered down and like people were really getting desperate. And he goes, and think about if there's like only one person with a gun on your block. Like, do you really want to be the person without one?
Yeah. I don't want to be the one with one though either, where everybody's like, hey, call him.
Well, no. I mean, that's why, like, I'd be like, dude, I can't leave the house. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of the way I looked at it. Like, I'm like, all right. Like,
well, if you're the only one with a gun, you can have all the toilet paper you want.
That's what I'm saying. And you can have all the toilet paper you want. And if you don't have a gun, guess what? The motherfucker with the shotgun's coming in like, give me some motherfucking Charmin, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like,
that should be the same for the quarantine. Like, the guy with the shotgun will always have a clean ass.
Will always have some Charmin in his ass. Yeah. Like, so that's when I was like, all right, so let me load up on that. And then I did the butcher box. So because I'm like watching the news. So like I'm watching the news and like grocery stores are just jam packed.
Which is the stupidest fucking thing ever. Stupidest
thing. I get it.
No. I mean, not that you get your food. What I mean is everything's fucking closed. You can't be in fucking big plate. You can't be surrounded by people. But then when you go to fucking Target, there's 1,000 people in a fucking line going around every aisle.
Well, what would be the option? I mean, what other option we have? I mean, you have to keep them open.
No, and you're 100% correct. But what I'm just trying to say is at first I understood it, whatever. But then when we're getting into this, like, you know what I mean? Like people are fucking protesting in groups of 1,000, and you can go to Target, but the person, I'll tell you one stupid thing. I'll give you an example. I'm watching Fox News like week 1, right?
Right.
And it's not a good or bad thing about Fox. It doesn't fucking matter that it's Fox. But all of a sudden, Fox goes, and they basically put a story out like as if GameStop was an asshole. They were like, and GameStop was finally told that they had to close because they were trying to claim that they were essential.
Right.
So the next day, I literally said to myself, what a fucking asshole. Like GameStop is trying to stay open. I really felt that way. The way it was presented on the news was like, we shut down GameStop who was trying to be an asshole. So I go the next day, I drive out to fucking Best Buy to get something. So I'm waiting in a car. Dude, Best Buy is fucking rocking. The whole parking lot's filled. They're running out, taking fucking orders like servers, delivering. Dude, like every truck was getting a fucking flat screen, Xbox, whatever. But as I drive over, I look over, and there's a fucking GameStop right next to it. And I think in my head, like, wait, I thought GameStop was an asshole, but yet Best Buy is essential and GameStop has to close. You know what I mean? And GameStop is a store that has been up against Best Buy is about to fucking wipe them out anyway, and they've been fighting to hang on. And so that's where my crazy conspiracy brain started to fucking believe some of that shit, where it's like these big businesses are wiping out little businesses. You know what I mean? Like fucking if a little grocery store can't be open, but fucking Target can. Right. That's where it started to get fucking complicated for me, especially right now. Right now, open it the fuck up or something, because it's all fucking over now. The precautions are over. The shit is real. It's out there. People are getting it. But like the whole process of opening is political at this point.
Yeah, like I don't care what if you're left, right. I don't care where you stand politically. I don't care if you're, all for the protests or you're against it. But you can't honestly look at all these people at these protests and then turn on the news and they're like, health organizations are recommending it's okay that you can go to the protests, but be safe. But in social gatherings such as bars and restaurants, it should be less than 10 people, or we're still not deeming that essential. I'm like, how does that work? Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all. Like, and again, this is not whether or not you believe in the protest support. It's nothing to do with that. It's just common sense that you can't. Your news station is saying, sure, go ahead, thousands of people. No.
But then here's the thing, and I understand. A protest, you can't, like, a protest is like, I'm mad, so I'm protesting. So you can't fucking tell people that they can't do that. They're mad about something. But what I think is funny is how the media, like, fucking coddles the protesters, and then in the same fucking segment shows a segment where somebody tried to fucking open their store and treats them like they're fucking a horrible person.
Well, it was the same thing. It was the protesters that were saying, hey, we need to open back up. We need to get back to work. Yeah. It was like, go back home and don't kill your grandma.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. You
better behave. Go home.
Before the protest, I seen people, and I don't know if I'm fucking stereotyping or what, but they were definitely fucking people that were at the protest later. And they were the people condemning anyone who fucking wanted to go outside or whatever. Like they were making you feel like it's like you're putting other people at risk. You're an asshole. You're this, you're that. And then the thing is like, I don't care if that's how you felt. Okay. I'm agreeing with you, but don't a week later go and do the same shit. You know what I mean? Like that's the fucking thing that's annoying with a lot of this.
Well, and the funny thing is I was actually one of those people that was like, why the fuck are they protesting? You know what I mean? Like, the people that were protesting to get back to work, to open things up. Yeah. And I'm sitting there watching the news like everybody else and listening to what they're saying. And I'm like, these people are acting like jerk-offs. Yeah. Like they're like, I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not doing this. And I'm like, come on, man. Yeah. If you gotta, it's just personal. It's just respect for somebody that's next to you, like, store, whatever the situation is. Well, just be respectful.
Even what I said to everybody was, even that I don't give a fuck about the mask. Like I'd go into the store and they would attack you. You just fucking forgot your mask or something. You know,
Yeah.
that happened a few times where like I had it in my pocket. You know what I mean? Like I put the mask on when they told me.
Right.
But my thing with the mask was never about what I wanted to do. It was like when you looked around and you saw the precautions that other people were taking, well, you're a fucking asshole if you're walking around like I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Well,
exactly.
The person fucking, if you give a shit that much, I'll stay 6 feet from you and I'll wear a mask because you give a fuck that much.
Right.
But I feel like they were throwing fucking shade on people who felt the other way. I really don't understand the fucking concept now. I just watched this video. Like, I wish I could show it to you. It was this guy attacking a newscaster. And at first I thought this guy's an asshole because the newscaster, I didn't even know what it was because it said got him or something. And this guy's just like yelling at the newscaster, like, spread your fake news and all this shit. And I'm thinking, this is stupid, you know? But what happened was the guy was yelling all kinds of fucking far right, like conspiracy shit at him. Like, how come you're saying the same thing and blah, 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 blah. You're spreading hate and fear. And I thought that was going to be the end of it. So I thought it was just stupid. But then the newscaster tells the guy, like, I'm done with you. And then the guy goes to go live and he puts his mask on. So the guy's like, look at you, man. Why would you put your mask on now? You just talked to me for an hour without it. And then he shows the dude's TV crew. There's like 3 guys behind a camera with no mask, no nothing. And dude, that is fucking weird. Like, that people are outside in a crew of 4 with no mask, but when they do their fucking newscast, they got to put their mask on. That means that you're fucking you're showing something.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. And again, like I was one of those people that was like kind of pissed that people were out protesting to go back and to open things up, and I was like, whoa, like, you know, let's just keep it cool and flatten the curve.
Yeah.
You know, and just stay calm. Like, I don't want to get fucking sick. Like, you know what I mean? And like, I had friends, and I know people that were, you know, out protesting, doing all this, and they were like, you know, fuck this shit. And like, I had friends that were, you know, talking about conspiracy. Yeah. They were like, dude, you know anybody that got it? And I'm like, no. Yeah. And then they were like, well, see, like, it ain't even real. Yeah. And I'm like, well. And then I would get, like, because I worked at the retirement home. So, like, I remember maybe
those people probably thought their numbers were up. They're like,
they were taking temperatures, like, as soon as you walk in, this, that, and the other. They closed the bar. And then it was like, I would get notifications on my phone or phone calls for, like, all right, like, so, like, the first notification I got, like, they were like, we have a report of our first case of COVID-19. And I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah. Shit. So then the buddy's like, bro, you know anybody that got it? That ain't real. So then I'm like talking to him, like, yo, I got a text, like, you know, so somebody got it at the retirement home. He goes, yeah, but do you know who it is? And I'm like, no, I don't know who it is. He's like, well, and I'm like, all right, you know, whatever.
Dude, go ahead.
So then it goes to, I got another notification and somebody else got it. And then eventually the guy I worked with got it. And then, you know, I would tell the dude that would be like, you know anybody? So I'm like, yo, this dude I work. And then he'd be like, look, I'm not saying it's not real. I'm just saying it might be blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in my head, I'm thinking, these motherfuckers are crazy. Like, these people that are like denying all this shit, and I'm like, dude, like, they're not buying into it. But now I'm like, they were fucking right. They were saying shit, you know, before. Dude,
there's so much bullshit. Like, I don't know if you saw the thing, but like very early on, like when they were like posing outside a hospital, and they would be saying like they have an outside fucking medic set up because they're overwhelmed with patients, and then they literally have nurses in there. Like, what happened was they pulled fucking people from inside the hospital, outside the hospital, and made them get in line there for no reason. And then they show you the nurses bitching, and they're like, you know, I didn't know I was going to be fucking acting on camera. In other words, they wanted, I don't know how it works. I don't think it was like the hospital trying to scare people, but it was like for that shot, they didn't want to have an empty fucking line. So they filled that line. But the whole thing is, it's bullshit. Right. Now, COVID clearly fucking exists. And then the other scary thing you got to think about is as when I start to think, like your friend was saying, do you know anybody that's got it, whatever else? Well, I've also been fucking abiding by the rules. And
Right.
so have people I know. And that's why right now I'm fucking scared with the protest, because this didn't end because science said it can end. This even if science was fucking bullshit from the get-go, there still
Right.
is a procedure. And that procedure is not over for science. It's over for politics. And if we're fucking like everything anybody did for 3 months is over. That's over. That means nothing. When like if 1,000 people, 100,000 people, however many fucking people hurdled together in big fucking groups, that's over. Like, and now, right now, I don't know if you read this. I haven't even read it yet, but I got a notification that Texas is apparently having skyrocketing fucking numbers now for COVID. I don't know what that means.
Really?
Yeah. I don't want to sit here and start digging around for it, but I just saw it before I was talking to you.
Now I did see some about Georgia. I thought that Georgia was like the first state that started reopening before everybody.
Well, now I think it's going to get political. Like I don't know what headline I read with the Texas thing, but I never read the article, but the first thing I thought was, now we're back to politics. Now that all this protest and shit's over, that headline could be nothing. It could just mean that they have more because they tested more. But now,
Right.
now the left is going to start attacking all those fucking places that, like you said, Georgia, these places that didn't abide by the rules from the get-go, that actually showed to a certain extent that it was bullshit to stay in. Now we're back to telling people they have to stay. Like now the fight is that there still is the far right wants it open and the left thinks it should be closed because they care about everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? You understand what this means, right?
Well, yeah, because they care about you, but jam pack your asses into the streets to go protest.
Yeah. Well,
You guys will be all right.
I'm gonna let everyone know something right now. By everyone, I mean the 4 people that might see this, other than you. But
yeah.
The bottom line is nobody cares about you. None of them care about you. Nobody cares about you. And like if people put it this way, dude. Every fucking person that's telling you something is somewhat intelligent on those issues. How could they be so fucking? How could there be people like, you don't close it down? No, you know what I mean? Like they're so at each other, and nobody's working together, and that's the fucking problem. Because I'm pretty sure that there could have been a compromise somewhere, and I never saw it.
No, well, dude. I mean, and again, I realize people get really passionate. Obviously, we know everything is over fucking politicized. You know what I mean? And that's just where we are today.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you're, Republican, Democrat, whatever you are. They're all fucking bullshitting us.
Yeah.
They have their talking points, like you're pro-life, you're pro-choice, whatever, free education, whatever free healthcare, whatever the case may be. They're all fucking sitting pretty. They're not all. None of them are missing a meal. None of them are living in really environments that even any of these things will really affect them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like they're in a position to pass laws and dictate how we're supposed to live, and it doesn't affect them really
at all. And all they're concerned about, it's kind of fucking sad because I never paid attention as much as I fucking do now. And the bottom line is nobody spends any time on actually making real change. They spend time in between every term of every fucking politician, whether it be the president, whether it be a fucking senator or a local politician. From the minute that they get elected, it's okay, I've got fucking 2 years or 4 years to fucking make sure that I have my job for the next election. And that's just a constant cycle.
Just to get reelected.
That's it. That's your only purpose.
And then they go out and fucking pitch you like, I will defund the police.
I think what they
fucking like all this shit.
Well, here's the thing though. But yesterday, defund the police would have meant nothing to them until they realized now defund the police is, are you with it? Or are you not with it? Because if you're not with it, you're not getting my vote. So now it's all they're fucking thinking in their head is, how much does this, how many people, and it sounds dumb because maybe that's how politics should work. But I still don't think it's that kind of like, it's not like coming from a place of how can I satisfy my constituents or whatever. It's more like I don't even like if you care about somebody and they start saying like if I have 10 people that voted for me to be in control of something and they voted for me like to crash my fucking car into a brick wall, like I'm going to fucking say, hey guys, let's fucking relax here. But it seems like it's like you're either fucking, you go, I don't know, maybe that's a fucking tangent for another time, but it's like you have to step in and take they picked you to be a leader, not to be somebody who does everything that they fucking tell you to do. You know what I mean? You're a politician. You're supposed to be educated on things that people are not educated on. So you're not supposed to just do everything they say. You're supposed to negotiate with your own people and say, okay, I see your point, but now I'm going to take fucking charge and lead a little bit. But I guess if all you care about is your fucking job and you don't care about what actually happens in the community, you know what I mean? Like if you get elected because you care about your community and somebody starts to make you do something and demand something of you that you know would hurt your community, well, fuck your next term. You're there to do better for that, whatever. And you know what? I would say that if you can do better and if you do better, then whatever people think now, they'll see the fucking results and you'll get that fucking vote again. But I don't think anybody wants to take that fucking risk anymore or something. I don't know. I don't know if it was ever any different, but that's exactly what it is now.
Well, I don't know that anybody who doesn't want to take the risk. I think there's just too many incentives to be a politician. You know what I mean? Like, because it's like, all right, you know, if you run for mayor or governor, then your next, you know, then you want to be senator or, you know, move up. It's always the next step up. It's a career that just like the rest of us, like we start at the lower level and it's just about working our way up. So we do what we need to do to move up that political ladder.
Yeah.
And then once you get there, what do you really care? And listen, I don't want to say this about every single politician because look, I don't know
because there is one or two of them.
Yeah, I mean, because exactly. Like I think, but the problem is a lot of times I think that even if they're good-hearted and they have good intentions, once they're in that world and in that realm, and then they're like, hey, I'm gonna push, you know, in Philadelphia for that sugary tax. You know what I mean? And we're gonna fund the schools for this, that, and the other. You had every intention of doing something good to raise money for the school, and then what happens? Report comes out that they raise, I don't even remember the numbers, so don't quote me on this. This is exactly why we may even call it Laymen Stearns, because I'm a fucking trash man. You're a fucking bartender.
Yeah.
What the fuck do I know?
Check the facts. Fact check, Tommy.
Exactly. But so you raise X amount, and then the report comes out and says, well, you know, we raised, let's say, $3 million, okay, for schools. Well, $1 million actually went to schools. 500,000 went to surrounding parks and recs, and then there's money that they don't know where it went.
Yeah.
And that legitimately, like, I'm off on the numbers, but that's exactly what happened in Philadelphia. And it's like, how does that work? Like, that's just what happens, I think, when you get when you step into that world, like, people, there's so many different people, like, you know, from all over the place.
Dude, I'll use this example, and I might take the floor for a second here, but just because this is one of the best ways I feel that I can describe what I believe is politics. Remember when we were kids, and I don't know if you've ever had this said to you, but I used to have it said to me all the time. You want to go to Bartram? Not because, forget the unruliness of Bartram. I used to constantly hear something about how they don't have their own textbooks, how they can't bring their textbooks home, right?
Right.
And I remember like being so fucking weirded out, like, shit is that, are they poor? You know what I mean? Is the school system poor? So if you look at politics on that small scale, just textbooks in schools, the thing people are telling you is our school system is underfunded and we only have fucking one book in the classroom. What they're not telling you is they bought them fucking new books. At one point, they had enough books for everybody to take a fucking book home. Now, I'm not saying that the kids are bad, but they're also going to school in an environment where not everybody even makes it through the first week. So in Bartram, by fucking week 2, 30% of the kids are fucking dropped out of school. And again, I don't know if that's a true fact, but I know it's high numbers like that. So when I looked into that by asking people and then putting shit together myself, what it seemed like to me was the real reason why they didn't have books was because you have a lot of kids taking them home. Then you have like normal kids that anything can happen. They can lose the book. They can whatever, right? Well, so then you have kids that have parents that don't give a fuck about them. They really don't. They have a kid who goes home and the parents not overseeing their shit and whatever. So here's the fucked up part about politics. A politician is too scared to come in and say, hey, well, you know what? The problem isn't that we don't have books. The problem is we need to find a way to make fucking parents give a fuck about their kids, or to make the kids give a fuck about school, or to make whatever. Once you start touching those issues, you're going to fucking piss people off. So what happens is the guy who wins, the guy who looks good, is the guy who gets the $4 million check to the schools to get new textbooks. And he didn't address any problems. He's standing on the fucking front page of the newspaper, shaking hands with a $4 million check. And then what, like you said, where does that money go? Well, the funny part is now Rand McNally, who charges $700 a fucking textbook anyway, for some fucking reason, when they find out that there's a $4 million fucking contract for them, what happens is that they turn around and they are you about to take a piss?
Nah, dude, I'm getting a beer.
But what happens is that instead of ever addressing the fucking problem, they just put more money. But let's just say that textbooks used to cost $2 million or something. Well, now they cost $3 million. You know what I mean? Like now they're not $700 a book; they're $800-900 a book. So it's all baloney, because if you really fucking sat there and cared about the system, you would understand that the schools aren't underfunded, and the politician giving you money isn't fixing anything. There's still a fucking problem. And the problem is that why do textbooks cost so much? And what kind of fucking shit is going on that we can't have the kids or the parents or the teachers fucking care enough about these kids' books?
Absolutely.
But I guess so. At the end of the day, what I'm saying is it's not about fixing the problem. It's who's going to stand there. Like, in other words, if the guy who could do all the dirtiness behind the fucking scenes and get himself on the front page, shaking hands with the big check, he's the good politician. But that's not the fucking case. You know what I mean?
Right. And in all honesty, if the bottom line is the talking points, we want to invest in education, we want to invest in healthcare, we want to invest in creating jobs. Those are all talking points that whether you're Republican or Democrat, they all use. And it sounds great. The people that are sitting up there that are watching, yeah, like I want a better school for my kid. Yeah, like I want free healthcare and I want this. But there are so many different variables that go into all of that. Okay, you want free healthcare because, you got fucking diabetes and you're a lazy piece of shit that sits on your couch all day and eat fucking Fritos.
Talking to me, Tom?
But what I'm saying is, but you don't want to take into account, go for a walk, dude. Go,
yeah. Well,
eat some fucking cabbage. You know what I'm saying? Like go like
fucking, yeah. Well, but look at even workouts. They make me laugh. Like not workout. Well, people are different now. They in fairness, fucking I missed that fucking boat of whatever health and fitness fucking wave has taken over. But go back to the South Beach diet. It was so funny to me that it started to look to me like people weren't looking at how to get healthy. They were looking at how can I continue to be a fat slob, but actually, like in other words, like an Atkins diet. Like you didn't see people like, yeah, I'm on the Atkins diet because they were exploring a way to be healthier. They were sold on, hey man, you can order 10 McDonald's hamburgers and just take the fucking buns off them. Nobody was thinking like, well, maybe I should go to the gym. It became like, maybe I could eat 2 burgers instead of 1 and just don't eat the fucking bun and lose weight. If that, that fucking ship has sailed because you got CrossFit, you got this Peloton shit. I think people are fucking actually, I think whatever people are doing in the fucking health and fitness game, they left my fat ass on the couch with the fucking Doritos a long time ago.
Well, I'm only speaking from my own personal experience as a 40-year-old single person. My main purpose was to lose weight, and I didn't really give a fuck about being healthy. I just want to look as good as possible, so I could just still try and get fucking laid.
No, well, don't get me wrong. So I get it.
That's my vanity.
Yeah.
It's just like, dude, what do I got to do? Do some keto so I can fucking break out a 6-pack? Like,
no, that's over.
Like, look at this situation. Like, that's all I was fucking thinking about.
Yo, let me ask you a question. Do you work out or anything?
Well, no. I mean, dude, I got a physical job. So, like I was on the keto diet last summer I started. I lost 30-some pounds.
Is that the one where you fast?
Well, you do, like, some intermittent fasting, and basically, you want to eliminate your carbs. You want to eliminate sugars.
Yeah.
So pretty much I was eating like butter, dairy, cheese, meats. All those things are fine. It's just you have to watch it.
See, I think the things I do think is like intermittent fasting and all. Like I was talking to somebody about it yesterday. I don't think we were intended. Like what fucking animal out there wakes up and has breakfast and then has lunch and then has dinner? It's like you eat when you get your hands on something, and hopefully it's once a fucking day.
I'm no health expert. Again, what the fuck do I know? Think about the shit that we fucking consume. And, like, I think a lot of this, it is psychological. Like, I'm just sitting on my couch watching TV, and I'm like, I just want some ice cream. Like, I'm not even that fucking hungry. But, like, I'm fucking sitting there eating a gallon of fucking ice cream, and it's like, dude, that shit's not meant for this body that, you know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead, yeah. Yeah. You paleo guy?
Yeah, no, but when I did the paleo diet, what I realized about it was, honestly, I had the best results. Like, in other words, like, I'm not talking about fucking, like, going to the gym or whatever. I'm talking about just doing a diet. The thing about the paleo diet was I started to realize it's just all about processed foods.
Oh, yeah.
You like, in other words, it's just shit that we actually have to make into food is shit you shouldn't be eating. And one of the best things that I read somewhere or watched on a show that I actually, because I'm so healthy, but what I think is the best advice for like that I've ever heard about health was just eat shit that your fucking great grandmother or your grandmother would recognize as food. In other words, when you go to like when you go to the fucking store and there's a Twinkie or some shit like that or whatever, it's like, you know, you should be like if you can make a fucking a tasty fucking treat out of fucking natural shit, eat it. You know what I mean? But when I was on the fucking paleo diet, what I noticed was that I just wasn't hungry. Dude, if I sit down and eat fucking like a steak and potatoes or something like that, it's like I'll fucking clean up and I'll still be hungry. When I did the paleo diet, I would be like eating, and like eating became just like fuel. Like it was like I ate because my body needed it. But when it got enough, it just stopped. It was like, you know, you didn't walk around craving it. And that's the fucking thing I've noticed even in quarantine is like the minute I started cooking every day, I was less hungry, ate less, whatever else. And then all of a sudden I would fucking splurge again and order some Grubhub. And it was like, I realized that I ate more and felt like shit. And I'm like, something's fucking different here. You know what I mean? What is it? The only thing I could encounter was anytime I fucking ate outside, you know? So I don't know. Like, I think the sad part is that you're never going to have that time of fucking, that kind of luxury again to fucking spend most of your day relying on like, what am I going to eat today? How am I going to eat? Let's cook, let's go, whatever. The thing that happens is when you're on the fucking move, man, eventually you just fucking grab what you can grab. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're like, yeah, I'll take a fucking Big Mac because
Yeah.
I'm working fucking 16 hours.
Well, you know I'm a vegetarian, right? I'm a fat vegetarian. I just don't eat red meat. I think it's just not good for me. I wish I could eat it. I just had so many other issues with it. But I mean, being a vegetarian ain't that fucking bad.
I mean, obviously everybody has different needs. So it's like easy to say, oh, keto worked for me, this will help, or paleo, or somebody's a vegetarian or carnivore, whatever the situation may be. Everybody has individual needs.
Yeah. Like I eat ass and you don't eat ass.
Exactly. Like, you know, I don't know. Maybe I should fit
got
that.
Got a big smile from the girlfriend out of that one. I guess she took her headphones off.
See, obviously you're doing something right. That's why she's fucking with you, and that's why I'm fucking single too.
Dude, when's the last time you had a girlfriend?
I was seeing a girl. Well, so I was seeing a girl. When the hell did I start? Last summer, I was seeing this girl for about a month and a half, something like that. We broke up. I was talking to an ex-girlfriend for a little bit, but like it was more just like friends. But we were kind of hanging out a little bit for a little bit of time, but it wasn't anything like that. And then I want to say in like October, something like that, I started seeing somebody, and we were seeing each other for like 2 months, and then we stopped seeing each other in like December. I went on a date here and there, maybe talked to a couple people, but nothing really came out of that. And now, of course, you know, with COVID shit, it's like I match with chicks on Bumble or fucking Tinder or whatever the fucking case may be. It's like, so what are you doing?
But see, I think it would be
fucking thing you're doing, like absolutely fucking nothing. Like I'm sitting on my fucking couch eating fucking Fritos. What the fuck do you want from me? Like, and then what kills me is
did you go on any dates during quarantine?
No, I didn't. Like, no dates, no anything. And like that's why like people were like, oh well, you could do like FaceTime dates and shit. I'm like, for what? The fuck is that gonna do for me? The fuck? I don't even fucking know you. Like, I don't want to fucking watch you sitting on your fucking couch.
I think that fucking if you were single during this time, I think that it would be like the easiest way. Like every guy's always trying to find a way to get the girl to come over his house without him looking like a dirtball. But now you can be like, hey,
what else are we gonna do?
Yeah, like
well, and so here's the thing. Also going back to me being super fucking socially awkward, I got no game really. You know what I mean? So like,
really?
No, I got no game. I'm kind of awkward, bro. Like I don't even know what the fuck's going on anymore. Like,
I got good game, I guess, for a moment. And then I get socially awkward at the same time. Yeah, I could break the ice, and then I'm like fucking slipping all over.
Yeah, I broke it. Now I'm just fucking. I can't get my track in. I'm fucking all over the place. No, see, like my thing is this. Like a lot of times, is
put your fucking headphones on and turn your goddamn shit up. Sorry about that.
So like, I'm in a situation where like let's say I came to fucking Baltimore or whatever, and your girlfriend was like, oh, this is my girlfriend such and such. Boom, easy, and we start talking, and it flows, it vibes good, great. But like in a situation where, you know, like one, especially now, which, you know, you don't have to worry about, but this online dating type shit, right?
But you gotta remember, I was single for fucking like 7 years up until not too long before quarantine. Right. You know what I mean? So I get it, but I'm not an online dater. I'm not none of that fucking shit. I don't even understand it. I don't.
Dude, these fucking broads, their fucking expectations are like fucking up here. You know what I'm saying? Like all these chicks, they want to say like, oh, I want this good guy, right? That's such a fucking bullshit lie.
I don't know a girl
like
with a good guy.
Every fucking broad is fucking lying when they're like, I just want a good guy. Yeah. No, bitch.
They just want.
You want to date the devil. You want to date the devil. You want to know why? Because this is what I call the 666 rule. Okay, this is why if he ain't fucking 6 feet tall, if he don't have fucking 6 inches below the waist and 6 figures in his fucking bank account, you don't want him. So you want to date the fucking devil.
But do you know what I always laugh about though? I always think I just said fuck this, and I went to downtown by myself. It was the first time I ever did that. I went to fucking Play on the Stars, like 17 years old, like alone with a fake ID, and And I remember I was fucking talking to this girl, and she was asking me. Now, keep in mind, they thought I was like in my 20s. I don't know why. I looked like a fucking baby Yoda.
You were like, I'm only 17, but I started having sex at 11, so I'm waiting on my fucking years.
Yeah, I hope you're in the strap-ons. but so I remember looking at this girl, and I remember she was being so weird in the questions she was asking me, like, what do you do? Where do you go to school? And I never forget, something in me, I turned around, looked at her, and I said, who the fuck are you? Like, what the fuck did you do? Who the fuck are you? Well, you know what I mean? Like, you're asking me what I drive, what I do, what I whatever, and what the fuck are you? What are you like? Why? Who the fuck are you to expect that of the other people? I probably only said that because I didn't go to school anywhere and didn't drive.
You were fucking pissed. Like,
if I would have had a Porsche and had been a doctor, I'd have been like, I have a Porsche and I'm a doctor.
But at 17, were you driving the Sebring?
No, I didn't drive down there. I don't, dude. Maybe I doubt it. You know what though? I was driving
the Sebring with the fucking top back. Like, what's up, bitch? I got a convertible Sebring.
I thought I was cool in Southwest with a Sebring, and then I moved to Florida and took it with me and realized it's like a junker down there. It's like everybody's got a Sebring.
Yeah.
But no, like the thing that I think is fucking hilarious about shit is, and then you realize it as you get older, is everybody fucking puts these fucking demands and these expectations on everything. And if you look around you, nobody got like people that went to school for things. They have college degrees for film, but they're working in pharmaceuticals. The bottom line is like to say I won't be with someone unless they're this, or I won't fucking I need to have kids by the time I'm 25, or whatever the fuck these kind of things people say. I think that they're like fucking unachievable expectations or limitations that they put on themselves, which is fucking stupid. And when you said that they want the devil, I always say girls don't want guys that buy them flowers. They want guys that don't buy them flowers to buy them flowers. That's it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like the guy that buys, I say this because working in the restaurant business, you know how many times I've seen this? 100,000 times. A girl will be in the bar, the hostess, and a guy will start flirting with her, and she'll say, oh, he's cute or something. And then next thing you know, like fucking, whether it's that same day or the next day, flowers will show up. And the girl will be like, remember that guy from yesterday? He bought me flowers. And now he's a weird, creepy guy. So, but anybody who I've ever seen who loves flowers is like, your dude's a dick. He never takes you anywhere. And then last night he took you to fucking Olive Garden and he gave you a fucking rose on the street that he bought for $1. And the girl's walking around with that rose like, oh, where'd you get that? Jimmy bought it for me. You know what I mean? It's like,
Well, and part of that is when you said she's walking around, she's probably walking around with a fucking limp because Jimmy's fucking giving it to her that fucking good. You know what I mean?
Well, the bottom line is,
but anyway,
I don't care what any of them say. The bottom line is that the fact that there are girls out there that are chasing guys around that have no job and all that shit. And if you've never been that guy, like, in other words, me and you, we strive to be whatever it is. Like you said, I just want to look good. I'll do that kind of diet and whatever else. Hey, man, if you can lay the fucking pipe, apparently, you don't have to do none of that shit. None of that shit.
The fucked up thing is, too, is like, that ain't even working for me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it used to. But, now, now it's like, oh, shit, I have to have substance? Like,
yeah.
I actually gotta fucking talk about shit. Like I gotta be more than fucking just
well, it's
wearing
weird.
A fucking nice shirt and
What's weird for me is, I never fucking considered myself, fucking like a pretty boy or anything. But I mean, I wasn't fucking ugly. You know what I mean? And what I noticed now, the scariest thing that has happened to me is like, if you look at a photo of a group of people, I mean, I could always see me immediately, and so would someone else. Like if it was like 10 guys from work, it's like, You're the guy, like, who's that guy,
Right.
I've seen photos, like group photos, And people, and I'm like, oh, guess I wasn't there. And somebody will be like, no, you're right there. You're right there. And I realize like, I'm just a guy there. Like I'm just the guy that's in the photo. You know, I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it's like, as you get older, you have to accept like, you don't carry any of that fucking, that glow that a fucking 22-year-old carries anymore. Right. That's gone, you know?
Oh yeah. So,
which I think hurts you in online dating, because, you know, I don't know if a fucking few photos could like, you know, like there's me sitting in my chair with a bag of Doritos.
And the other thing is too, like there's just some sort of like these unrealistic expectations. You know what I mean? Like, especially due to social media, and I know it's probably played out the way it's talked about, things like that, and how people are seeing the way other people are living. So we're constantly comparing, you know, where this person is and where that person is.
Way too much information out there, first off.
Yeah, and like...
Well, let me ask you this, because you're on Bumble. You said you're on Bumble, did you say?
Yeah, Bumble, Tinder.
So here's the one thing I noticed about all them things. The amount of pictures of girls with either a baby Siberian tiger, a fucking, do you know what I'm talking about? The little monkey, like in other words, like, look how exotic I am. And it wasn't until I went like on a fucking cruise or something where like I realized like how there's just a guy standing somewhere with that little fucking animal, and there's a line of fucking chicks for like a mile because they need that fucking photo. They need that fucking photo. And at first, when I first seen it, I was like, damn, this bitch is rolling around with a Siberian tiger somewhere. Oh shit. But when you fucking actually see it, you realize how disgusting it is that they want that fucking stupid... what I just said might sound ridiculous, but I've definitely seen way too many of the same motherfucking kind of photo in them people's profiles.
Well, no, you're absolutely right. Like, it would be like, I click on this chick's page and it'd be like, you know, I just was in Bali last week, and I, you know, saved some African children, you know, a month ago on some safari fucking thing. I went spelunking and this, that, and the other. And here I am. I'm like, hey, you know, I like movies, dude. Like, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, what do I have to offer? But at the same time, it's like.
Well, my pictures are just like a grade school picture and my credit score. And that's it.
Yeah, you're like, what else you want from me? Like, I mean, this pretty much explains it all. I mean, and it's so weird how, like, you know, one of the funny things about it is like, you know, chicks that are on there and they're like, you know, you better have something original to say to me. Like, don't just say hey or hello.
That's all I got for you.
And then those same chicks will like inbox me or like I'll match with them or whatever, and then they'll be like hi, and I'm like, that's it? That's all the fuck? Like, how the fuck am I supposed to go on for that? Like, I could say hi back. Like, usually my go-to is like I send them one of those fucking gifts or whatever the fuck it is, GIF, whatever the fuck those little images are. I send them like that little fucking bear that's waving that says hello. Like, that's my fucking go-to.
Well, hey man, my brother said this. I remember one time when I was younger, it's something he said to me that I always remember that. And he's like, and I say this to like young kids who are scared to talk to a girl. If she fucking likes you, you can go over there and say whatever the fuck you want. You know what I mean?
But how does she even like you if she don't know you?
But then all of a sudden now, like, people are asking you shit like, what's your perfect idea of a fucking first date? And anything anybody says, I don't care, is a fucking lie, because 90% of people meet in a bar, meet through a friend, or just fucking meet on there. And I really feel that anybody who fucking like if you're a girl who's going to ask, what's your idea of a perfect date? The guy that's going to win you with his idea of a perfect date, he just knows what to fucking say. He's never took anybody on that fucking perfect date. Nobody's going fucking skydiving on their first date. I'm not fucking going skydiving on a first date. I'm not going skydiving maybe ever, but definitely not on a first date. That's the last place I want her to see me shit my pants and piss myself. It was really nice meeting you.
Yeah, well, to put that into perspective is if Carmen Electra, and this is just random because I just.
All right, I'll jump out of an airplane. I'm jumping out of an airplane.
I might do that. But like if some chick on Bumble, like, you know, that has fucking puppy ears on her fucking filter, and she's like, "Hey, I'm cute, check me out." Like, nah, you're not.
Yeah, you're getting the waving koala bear.
Yeah, like you're not. You know, maybe you might turn out to be fucking something special.
But I remember laughing one time when I did one of them like hey things online. And I thought in my head, like, you got one chance, dude. You got one shot. This is your one shot, man. You got to say the right thing right now. You want to get this girl's attention.
I thought you were going Eminem, like.
Oh, no, but yeah, like that's what's going on in my head. You
only got one shot.
But what I'm saying is.
That's why I thought you were going with that.
What I'm saying, though, is like, you know, like, and making fun of myself in the sense is, it's like I looked at one of them hey messages that I sent, and I thought, like, that's what I came up with. Like, I mean, I wasn't thinking of anything, but I'm putting it in from her perspective, whatever. But the thing that I do think is fucking nuts is I'm telling you right now, I see it at my bar all the time. People that come in with that type of attitude and they meet somebody on a fucking date, whatever else, it ends. Like, I not too long ago, somebody left the bar where they were like, actually, this guy was a fucking asshole, but the girl just left. The dude was good looking, girl was good looking. And when the girl left, the dude looked at me and he's like, well, fucking put it pretty, like something about kids. And like, this dude was like interviewing the girl, like, and she had kids. So they looked like two people that fucking matched, you know? And then all of a sudden she looked like she wanted to cry. And the dude was like, turned around and was like, she had, like, he wasn't even being a dick. That was the worst part. He was being himself. And he was like, she had kids. So I told her, like, fucking get lost. You want me to lie or something? But I'm saying in my head, like, that's how you're going around meeting people, like a fucking job interview. I get it if you don't want kids. I understand it. You might have a take on that or something. But what I'm trying to say is, like, to fucking tell someone to take a fucking hike is weird. Unless, I mean, would you have a problem with dating a girl with a kid?
No. I mean, my ex, she had 2 kids. We dated prior to that and all. So, like, feelings were already there. So I was like, all right, I can do this. Because I already knew, like, there was, like, established feelings. I felt like it was a lot to take on, you know, with 2 kids. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm, like, built for this. But under those circumstances, I would have been willing to work with it and accepted it because of, you know, I loved her. Outside of that, dating somebody for the first time that has kids is kind of difficult because, like, you're trying to, like, learn who this person is. And, like, they don't have the time for you because, you know, they got to take fucking little Johnny to school. And they gotta fucking help them with fucking Common Core math fucking problems for 6 hours.
And then you gotta act like you care when all you're really doing is like,
like
get the kids,
like, you know, I'm like, she's like, what you do today? I'm like, I don't know, like, I'm trying to start a podcast, maybe, like, I don't really do anything, like, I don't know. And she's like, well, I had to cook dinner, I had to do laundry, and I had to fucking work on. Dude,
like, how the fuck do these people do that? How the fuck? I can't go to work and find the right time to play a reasonable amount of Xbox. And meanwhile, like, people are like I work with girls who fucking, they're up at 6, they're dropping their kids off somewhere, then they're coming back, then they're doing this. Like, they do all these fucking things before they come and work their 12-hour shift. Yeah. And then I'm lying around in my bed like, I'm going to be 10 minutes late because
I'm fucking lazy. Because I'm so fucking selfish. Like, and listen, man, like, realistically, no, I would never not date somebody because of a kid. But it can get a little bit complicated because, again, I don't understand that life. I don't, you know, and then it adds on another element to, like, you know, how am I going to interact with this? Like, now I'm going to make an impression on this child, you know, if it progresses. Yeah. And, you know, it's a lot. And again, not that I wouldn't do it. But obviously it has to be with the right person. And
well, you also have to accept that you're taking on a fucking responsibility, a bigger responsibility. But the other thing is funny is, what I've always thought about is, I think I could do that no problem. Like, because I actually fucking love kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't fucking necessarily want kids. I don't not want kids either. I don't want to fucking just have a fucking kid, you know, whatever. But the thing I think is crazy is that when you fucking take on somebody with kids and you want to have your own kids, when you have your own kid, them motherfucking 2 kids are not going to be as important as your fucking kid. They're not.
Right.
You can spread it around. You can say whatever you want at the end of the day, but you have to be looking at your kid like, that's my, like if anything ever happens, like if he's good in math and the other 2 kids aren't, you're going to say in your head, like, that's because he's my fucking, you know, because I'm so good at math. I'd look over and I'd be like, he's having sex at 11 and he's fucking useless. That's my boy.
Right. That's my boy. That's because he's my boy.
Yeah. The other 2 kids are fucking going to college. That's also another funny way to look at it, too. Like, she's going to look at you that way when, like, her 2 kids are like, I don't get why little Danny doesn't fucking cop on like the other 2. You know,
he's just fucking sitting around playing Xbox all day, and my kids are fucking like, you know.
I don't know. Must be something on your...
Joining the Boy Scouts.
Must take after your uncle or something.
I don't know, man. You know, the way I look at it is I'll just continue to live life, and I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, it was never a priority for me to have kids. I would never not, like, if I was in the right situation, the right girl, sure. But I feel like a lot of times, and I think this, you know, maybe goes back to like why a lot of relationships don't work out and why people are getting divorced at higher rates. You know, people just wind up getting knocked up and whatever, like, and then it's just like, all right, like, no, I'm gonna take care of it, but like there's no like groundwork there. There's no foundation for like a real relationship.
Well, I think kids, I think one thing that people don't do, but they should, like, I almost feel like a kid should be something, it's selfish to have a kid in any other way than when you can have a kid. So in other words, if you were to like fucking strike it rich tomorrow and fucking turn around and feel successful, I think when you feel that, you don't have to be rich, but like, let's just say you're working at a bar and you always wanted to own your own bar or something like that. And then you own your own bar and you finally have a handle on your bills and you're not strapped to your job and all of a sudden you feel successful, then you should seek having a fucking child. And
right.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a fucking kid at other times or else I wouldn't fucking be here.
Right.
What I'm saying is I do think that there's a thwarted thought of having a child, because if you think about it, if you fucking have a kid at any other point than a time when you can have a kid, it's kind of putting a lot of shit on yourself and that kid, you know?
Right.
And like I said, I mean, you know, I'm not trying to say fucking everyone I know has not, I don't really know anyone that's had a kid in that situation. It should be something that stems from like one, I guess not success, but it's like, okay, I can take care of myself. My time isn't constantly taken up by trying to figure out how to just fucking pay my own bills. And so now I've achieved, like I'm not trying to say you achieve success, and so therefore as a fucking trophy you have a child. I'm saying if you want to have a child, you seek to be in a situation like that first, and then you can have you know what I mean? Like you fucking eat, you eat your dinner, then you have dessert or whatever. Any other way, because the thing is I want a kid, but I am glad I don't have a kid. I look at my life right now, and I'm like, what if I had a fucking kid? I couldn't sit here and talk to Tommy about dildos and eating ass.
Right.
You know, I don't want any kid getting in the way of that.
That's gonna fuck up everything, you fucking little Danny. What the fuck?
Get out of here, you shitbag. Yeah. Daddy, what's a dildo?
You'll learn about it someday.
Yeah. It's something I won't let. It's something I won't let your mother put in my ass. But yo, dude, you want to call this one off for a little bit, and then we'll.
I was just thinking. I'm like, we went off about 2 hours.
That's probably enough.
Or so, something about that. Maybe an hour and a half.